Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to The Bat and the Bandit, episode number 3, with myself, Phil Campbell, my esteemed co-host, the great and powerful Mr. Lee Rogers. Lee, how the hell are you, mate?
Not too bad. What the fuck are they doing with medical marijuana at the minute?
Just a deep dive, right? I was going to ask about your week and all.
Oh, never mind the week.
Talk to me about it.
Can't remember much yet. Right. So they're giving that shit to sick people.
How are they getting shit done in a day?
Nobody. Is it so that they don't keep going to the fucking doctor? Is it so they're so stoned, flat to the fucking mat?
Right. We need to preface this by saying that myself and Lee were able to acquire medical grade marijuana, the devil's lettuce, if you will, and mate, it put my fucking smoke out.
So let me just clarify this as well. Phil and I kind of were forced in this situation where we had to watch The Walking Dead smoking this shit. Now I had, what do we do, 5 puffs each?
About 5.
By puff 3, I was worried. I was like, fucking hell. This is way too strong.
I was turning into a fucking Ed Sheeran song at a stage because I was sitting outside of your house on the bench. That all of a sudden my legs did not work like they used to before. But yes, this wasn't just that some wee fucking scumbag had made in the flats in a hydroponic tent. This wasn't just seeds and stems. This was
giving it to sick people.
This was legitimate medical grade marijuana. The stuff that like people are getting from dispensaries.
That we got from a sick person.
Yeah.
Who said you should try this?
Aye, and now
I know you boys don't take drugs and would ever do.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
shit like that,
they were like, hey, you know the way that you guys don't take drugs ever and have not done illicit drugs in any kind of way. Maybe you should try this just to see what you think of it.
Yeah.
But mate, it was as somebody who has indulged. Like I'm not gonna lie or fucking skirt around the issue. I'm 35 years old. I've taken illicit substances in my time, whether that be pharmaceuticals or whatever.
And had a really good time with my dog.
I had a fucking great time. Great time doing it. These days, reformed characters.
We're searching for something deeper.
You know, the devil's dandruff can go fuck itself right now. Your mascocodamol can take a sugar frosted fuck. You know, it's just
awful stuff. Stay away from the kids.
But this medical grade marijuana. So we're sitting in your house, which is a safe space for me, which is usually where I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And we're watching The Walking Dead. For
For
some reason, your wife decided to put on one of the most hectic episodes of The Walking Dead.
It was fucking debilitating.
Where boys are getting lined up and getting their heads smashed in.
But I was sitting there, and so I
was there. I was in it.
I'm watching the screen. Same. I'm watching the screen, and I'm going, how would I survive this? How would I get out of them chains? How would I fucking... It
was almost like I was wearing the Oculus and I'm looking around me and what I was seeing on the screen then became everything that was around me, and I'm looking around being like, right, there's Lee. I haven't quite put him in chains yet. Right, obviously I have to make sure he's okay. Right. So could I chin this big man quite enough, grab him and run, but then I'm leaving everybody else around me. And then Lee's going to resent me because I've saved him, but everybody else is around here. So should I just wait? Should we all just die and see what happens? And this is because this is medical grade marijuana that's meant to make you feel better.
Aye. Oh, they're giving that shit to sick people. Like, you know.
Do you reckon they give that to sick people so that they just shut the fuck up and stay?
Possibly. Possibly.
And stay quiet.
I mean, it's not even funny. The last time I had weed like that, I was in Springfield, Massachusetts, right? And there was a fucking hotel.
That's where the lights all go out.
Yeah. So I was in casino,
right?
Staying. It was the fucking MGM casino, and the next thing, I says, "There's a dispensary down the road. Going to go to it." Went in there.
Yep.
Being Billy fucking big balls. I said to the guard, "Give me the strongest joint you have. Don't want to buy a pet of it. Just give me a joint. One's a good strong joint." Now, this is a straight shot from the hotel to the dispensary and back.
Okay.
Right? 20-minute walk.
Where'd you go?
I got outside and sparked that fucking thing up. And I got lost for an hour on a straight road. I was just walking in through, just down here. No.
So it was from where you came from, it was a straight line?
Straight line. There to there. I came out, walked around the other side of the building after having a couple of smokes and just went, where the fuck am I?
And where did that put you? Like, what were you feeling?
I was a bit scared. You know what I mean? All these fucking low riders going by, fucking boom, boom, boom. I'm like,
I'll be honest. I'll be honest, mate. I don't think I like weed. I don't think I like where it puts me. I don't like that. Maybe that's just because of the disposition I occupy in my own headspace. But after like a good bit of weed, I don't really like where it puts me.
I don't mind it, and I'll tell you why. Because I usually go and stick something stupid on.
No, because you fuck off. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like Lee Rogers,
I'm gonna fucking retort this, but go ahead.
Now, Lee Rogers, my best friend of 15 years, will be like, here, come down to mine. We'll have a few beers. We'll have a joint. We'll stick something on. We'll have some laughs. It'll be great crack.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the first part of that will happen. We'll get really, really high. When I feel vulnerable and I need the love of my best friend, he'll pat me on the knee and be like, right, I'm away to bed, mate. And I'm just sat there by myself going, ah!
That tells us what's different about us is that when I'm stoned, I like to be alone.
Right.
And stick my shit on. And yeah, because I get piles of false memories and all like.
Yes, you've told me this before. Dive into that a wee bit for me, mate.
Right, so I would have memories of certain fucking times, scenarios, places, people that never happened.
That's fucking mad.
And it's as clear as day. It's a proper fucking memory.
Now, the argument could be, is that something that's in your bones already that you're unlocking a wee bit? Maybe something you have a genetic predisposition to?
It's not even me watching myself doing anything. It's me, through these eyes, recognizing and seeing places and certain things. It's fucking crazy.
Now,
parallel universe shit.
We're going to get into a wee bit of talk in and around mushrooms in a bit, which I love, but they're not for everybody because they are fucking.
We're going to talk through this, and we need to. I think there's a
but there's a massive distinction that needs to be drawn between the likes of psychedelics that we love. We love mushrooms, and then the more illicit substances.
Now, when we say we love mushrooms, once every 3-6 months.
Yeah.
That's not the sort of thing you can.
This isn't every weekend.
No.
This isn't every weekend.
This is not recreational. I remember getting a text from my wife the last time we were on it, and we were having a heavy one. Yeah. She says, "Hope you're having fun." I was like, "No, this is not fun." What do you mean? This isn't fun. This is transcendental.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, I think the distinction needs to be, because we've all been weekend warriors in our time, and we've all done the more illicit stuff. You know, you don't need to go into it. We've all done pills, we've all done bags of stuff, and that's not done with the kind of the overarching aim of maybe a wee bit of self-exploration. Yeah. Again, maybe if that sounds a wee bit too fucking hippie trippy or whatever, but there are certain substances you take at a stage in your life where you're trying to block stuff out. Yeah, where you're trying to desensitize yourself to the greater world around you, or to even your own fucking feelings. It's because we had, I hope you don't mind me saying, we had a conversation earlier about when the conscious decision was made to separate yourself from those party substances, how much more open and free and receptive you become to the world around you, the people around you, and maybe what they're kind of giving you as well. Yeah. So that distinction needs to be drawn.
Exactly. I do think, I mean, this is something we spoke about last week, and us both being from that kind of little tiny ilk that we call the occult. Yeah. That's where we come from. I do think that there's things that attach themselves to you whenever you're in the throes of an addiction.
100%, yeah.
You know what I mean? And shaking them off, they don't go easily.
Legitimate, malevolent.
100%.
What do you want to call them? Beings, forces. Energies, if you will.
Things you've picked up along the way, you know what I mean? The shit you end up doing on fucking stuff like that, you know what I mean? Yeah. You're going to pick stuff up that feels nice for a moment, but is, you know, when you don't want to do it anymore, they're going to hold on with the fucking claws, man.
Well, yeah, man. If it's been like 4 or 5 in the morning and you've finished a bunch of stuff and you're looking around you and your first thought is not being like, right, I should go to bed. I've got a big day tomorrow. You are enveloped by a need and a desire to acquire more of something, which in the cold light of day is addiction. Exactly. Yeah.
And the fact that you keep, I mean, you know, that white shit, it's not heroin. It's not bodily addictive.
Yeah.
But psychologically, yes.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, yeah, 100%.
And there's a period of time whenever you finish taking that you're going to be fucking held by it in a certain way, which is derogatory to your well-being.
Detrimental, 100%.
100%.
Do you believe there's such a thing as a cocaine demon?
Oh, aye. There's a fucking demon for everything, man.
Yeah.
Oh, aye. 100%. 100%. I fully agree with that. You know?
And it can get its hooks into you, and it can become this little fucking, this like little fucking imp that's on your shoulder, being like, oh, just a little bit more, and everything will be all right. Yeah. And it's fucking not, man. No. And I think it almost takes you to get, because unfortunately we've seen this happen with people. They get to the edge, and instead of their own kind of self-will, self-empowerment kicks in, they're like, fuck me, I need to knock this on the head. Some people go over the fucking edge. Yeah. Now, I've been very, very lucky that I've gotten to a certain point before where I've been like, you know what, fuck me, this is not good. No. This is not, like, I need to make a choice here for a number of reasons, for myself, for my relationships, for my friendships, to knock this on the fucking head. And it was through sort of doing that I really found my way into psychedelics. And for me, psychedelics haven't been easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Not for you.
And we'll get into, I've always had very, very fucking intensive experiences with them, particularly mushrooms. But coming out the end of it, there has been so much personal learning and growth to take from them. Now I realise that this podcast isn't as light as maybe the first two.
Well, so there's not going to be. We're going to try and laugh about some shit as well. Like, but at the minute, there's some stuff needs addressed.
Well, for example, like the first time I ever took mushrooms with a partner, and we had sex on them, and she turned into about 3 or 4 different people, and I thought this was fucking class. But beyond that, when
like fucking somebody with somebody else's dick,
that would be like fucking somebody with somebody else's face. But yeah, so talk about. Do you want to talk about the first time we did mushrooms together?
Aye. Well,
or do you want to talk about experiences you've had with them before?
Psychedelic experiences, LSD.
No, I've never done LSD before in my life.
Well, do you know that first 2 hours that you have on mushrooms, where the walls are moving around and that, the TV's doing fucked up shit, and you're seeing stuff out of the corner of your eye? It's that for 12 hours.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. It's that for 12 hours.
Because there's nothing like...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, there's nothing I enjoy doing so much that I want to do it for 12 hours. No. That's a long fucking time, man.
It's like taking MDMA. It's all right for the first 2 hours. 8 hours in, you're just going, I wish the fuck I should wear off.
Yeah.
So I heard, anyway.
The LSD.
Yes. So the first time I took LSD was back in the 90s, whenever it was a big party drug.
When I was about 10.
You were about, when you were a kid, I was
older.
Oh, okay. Scared the fuck out of me here. So I took, you used to get it was like a tiny little bit of paper, and they blotted each bit with LSD from a dropper, right? And you took that in your tongue, swallowed it. Half an hour later, you start to get. So the first time I took it, I was 16 years old.
Right.
I was with a bunch of mates in a mate's house.
Proper mates?
Bear in mind, at 16 years old, my mum wasn't very well. So I was trying to be respectful to her when she says, I would love you in by 1 o'clock. I was saying, I'd be in, you know what I mean? So I was trying to, so I went to her. My mate walks me around past the school, Sunnylands Primary School, and it's night time, it's like 12:30. We're walking around, pitch black, fucking middle of winter. And he says, he just stops and he goes, Lee, what way are you walking? And I says, I'm just walking. And he says, no, that's not the way you walk. And I said, what way do I fucking walk? So he immediately started this paranoia in my head where I was going, I have to walk in the house here, want my man off.
Just because so acutely aware.
What way am I walking? You're walking a wee bit like a duck or something. I can't pick up. So I was fucking, man. That was me just coming back here. Is this more the way I'm walking on? You know, trying to. He says, I think that's close. That's close. I walked all the way. He left me here. I walked all the way round home like this here and walked down the door. My man says, what's wrong with you? Right?
You're walking like you shite yourself.
Aye. What's wrong with you? Ma, just had a bottle of cider, whatever shade I told her at the time.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there. And she was sitting over here, and I could feel her looking at me. But I just kept forgetting myself and kind of looking at the tracers and my fingers were making all this.
Oh, yeah.
Like fucking looking back at her. And I started thinking to myself, if I had a drink, what would I be doing right now? You'd make something to eat, Lee. Right, okay. So I went up, went in the kitchen. I don't know what possessed me. I don't even like beans.
So you're trying to get on like a drunk guy?
I was trying,
like a drunk version of yourself?
I was wondering what I would do if I was just drinking. And I was so paranoid, you know what I mean? Dead against drugs and all my man, you know?
Yeah.
So I went and brought out a tin of beans, threw them in a fucking thing, stuck them in the microwave, came in with a spoon. Sat down in front of her and went to fuck. Right, man, how was your night? Oh, it was alright. It was alright.
Couldn't have looked more high if you tried.
Mate, I went to take another spoonful of them. They were fucking flying around the dish. They were like, fucking boom, boom. I was like, oh fuck, set that down. What's wrong with you? Not hungry, man. Way to bed. I went up, but I think I got away with it. But you know what I mean. That was the first time.
Now you're doing it like a deep dive into when you talk about LSD here. Do you know anything about the MK Ultra program that the CIA instilled in around the 50s and 60s?
Water? Am I right in saying they were putting it in the water? They were giving it to soldiers or some shit like that?
So, the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency of America,
right,
which was a legitimate federal institution of the time. Still is. Allegedly. Instilled in and around 150 different programs. Now, what they did was they bought a bunch of LSD from the Swiss government.
Right. What were they using it for?
I don't know why they had it or what the crack was, why they had it. Now, allegedly, they had 1 million portions or 1 million parts of this. Right, okay. It turned out, or units, so to speak. It turned out it was more like 40,000. Right. So the US government bought them, developed 150 or so different programs whereby they would administer LSD to unsuspecting members of the public. They did this in a number of different ways. They did it with like sailors that were on shore leave. Right. They did it with guys that were trying to hook up with prostitutes. Right. So they would like try and hook up with a prostitute. They would go back to whether it was like a halfway house type thing, and the prostitute would make them a drink that was laced with LSD.
Oh, so they were in on it?
Oh yeah, the prostitutes were in on it, because the CIA were essentially acting as like legal pimps in this kind of situation. Okay. So they would like they would curate the environment. The prostitute would give the John a drink, martini or something laced with LSD, and they would just sit the other side of a two-way mirror and just observe what was going on with them. And this was perfectly fucking legal. So, Ted Kaczynski. Does that name ring a bell with you at all? Ted Kaczynski was the Unabomber.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, actually, now you say it.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So he was the Unabomber. Yep. Now, he was freakishly intelligent, like one of the most intelligent young mathematician proteges of the era. He went to Harvard at age 16. Uh-huh. So he missed out grades, whatever it was, 17 to 18, went straight to Harvard. Right.
That's what happened to me.
Yep. Yep. It was expedient educational attainment. Yep. Incredible. Thanks. He was 16, was doing his course, whatever, and his professor, Harold A. Murray, I believe his name was.
Did they get to him?
Yes.
Right,
now,
okay.
Professor Murray, I believe it was Professor Murray, was a CIA operative,
right?
Who was the head of psychology at Harvard at the time, and he was.
That's why he was a CIA operative.
Exactly, yeah, because he had access. Yeah. So he actually dosed Ted Kaczynski with LSD, subjected him to like intense interrogation.
Did he do this once, or was this?
Oh no, this happened a bunch of times.
Was Ted Kaczynski fucking up?
Yeah. It fucked him up. This is what developed Kaczynski's schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. So he was at 16 years of age, and I remember, he's 16, he's a fucking kid. Yeah. At university, already, ton of pressure on him, being given this LSD, being put under strict interrogation. Now, think about, you've done LSD, I've only done mushrooms. Now, when you take these psychoactive substances, if there's something that creates the slightest tinge of paranoia in your head, you're fucked. Yeah. You go down a rabbit hole. Oh. Now, if you have somebody who's meant to be like a mentor to you, someone who's meant to be a trusted elder individual,
who's engineering it so that you stay paranoid,
has curated this environment to you, that is bound to fuck you up. And this whole overarching process, MK Ultra, was done with the express intent of trying to develop a means of social control, a potential truth serum. Right, okay. Because the Russians were trying to create this at the same time.
Ecstasy as well.
Yep.
They ended up finding, I mean, I think they found the truth serum was better with ecstasy than
the MK Ultra was only one of 149, 150 different sub-projects that were fucking... There is also a prevailing theory that Charles Manson...
Oh, he was fucking wild on it, man.
Was a CIA operative.
Right, okay.
So...
And you know, he never actually fucking... I think he maybe killed one person, like
No, he didn't. But that
Like,
like
but
as
he
a drifter.
As a
drifter. But
he was never,
the Tate LaBianca murders,
they weren't
he
him.
didn't kill anybody.
Your man
Tex Watson.
That's him.
Yep. So he pumped the Manson family full of all these illicit drugs.
At that time, they were probably fucking loving it too.
Yeah. And I can't. It wasn't Agent Orange. It was something Orange was the name of the particular brand of LSD that they took at the time.
Agent Orange was the stuff they used. That was the stuff that sprayed over in Vietnam, the fucking chemical.
But this particular brand of LSD was called something Orange. Can't remember off the top of my head. I'd need to Google it. But he shouldn't have had access to this at the time because it was only the CIA had it.
Right.
So if he has access to this and he's given it to the Manson family, so there's a prevailing theory that Charles Manson was a CIA operative. I don't know the ins and outs of that or like what the prevailing end game of that was, but I went down a wee rabbit hole there. Sorry, mate. LSD, so you've taken it, aye.
I enjoyed that, mate. Give me your wee hand, mate. You're a good lad.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I needed to hear that.
Yes. So the strongest thing, apart from, I remember I had this lovely wee auntie who was getting stuff for all her aches and pains, and she gave me this little tiny black ball of putty, and she says, roll that out, cut it into 5, and take one wee bit every morning, and it'll set you up for the day.
Yeah.
I looked at it when I got in the car, and I went, fucking ways up at the whole thing.
Uh-huh. How'd that go?
I was in my room willing myself to die. I was actually in my room on my own just going, I don't want to do this. I can't do this anymore. Just let me die. I didn't know what was real, what was fucking not real. I didn't know this house sounded different. I was just like, holy shit. Just take me. I can't fucking deal with this. Just let me die. I'm going to die anyway, but do it now, but so I don't have to wait about.
And this is marijuana?
This is marijuana. It's the strongest thing I've ever took. 18 fucking hours, Phil. 18
Jesus,
hours before
man.
I was actually okay.
How old were you?
About a year ago.
Did you have like shit? Like you're an adult. You've got adult responsibilities. Did you have shit to do?
Well, you know, whenever I was just like doing like music shit and I was on my own, you know what I mean, during the day, I would have got up to some I would have
nefarious activities.
Fucked about a wee bit. No, well, you know what I mean. No, just like nothing.
You'd have fucked about.
Nothing bad around, like
right.
You know. But I thought, but listen, it was this size. It was literally like it was smaller than a pea.
Yeah.
And I just said, no way, I'm fucking cutting that into 5. Took the whole thing. 18 hours, Phil. I was on a roller coaster.
What was going on with you?
Oh, just everything, man. Just everything that I've ever done, everything that I'm going to do, everything that I've never done, every fucking turn I never took, every turn I did take, it was ridiculous.
You were start thinking about multiverse theories and shit?
About the doors of perception, man. I was lying in my room and I kept going, this isn't my room. Where the fuck am I? I kept getting that, like looking around and recognized nothing. I didn't recognize my own room, didn't recognize my bed. I was just lying there going, whose room am I in here? 18 hours. I swear to fuck, man. It was literally the strongest, worst thing I've ever done in my life.
I've been 2 days deep on white.
Yeah.
And again, not proud of this at all. Not a brag at all. It's just to illustrate how fucking destructive and detrimental it is. I've been 2 days deep on my own. Which, when you say it out loud, is one of the most pathetic sounding things in the world.
I've done it.
We've all done 100%. It, and it is fucking pathetic. It just has a grip on you. But I've been 2 days deep on my own, going to bed, going up the stairs quietly because I'm scared of waking my man and dad in the next room. Now, I haven't lived at home in about 20 fucking years.
I know.
But
you creep about in your own house.
Creeping about.
It's weird as fuck.
And it's not normal. It's not good. And it really fucks with. So I can be mentally, I can be a wee bit fragile sometimes anyway, just because of the way I am. And if anything, that just compounds it and fucks with you, man.
Oh, aye. There's this point on it. You'll know this as well, where you're 3 days in, and everything it's just a trip.
Yeah.
It's just a trip. You're living a weird trip. It's like because you haven't slept, you're still fucking chasing it, man.
The white demon fucks with you, man.
Oh, aye.
And starts asking questions of you.
I've lay on my thing, not being able to move. Fucked from it, no sleep, days, and just looked at my door and went, who are you? I remember going for a pee, right, and coming out of my fucking bathroom. This is true. Coming out of my bathroom and bumping into somebody and saying, sorry, mate, you having a good night.
And not a fucking thing there, man.
There was nobody there.
Yeah, man.
I was 3 days in.
But I'm so much
life's good.
So much happier
Absolutely.
with the way I am now, and embracing psychedelics and
has
mushrooms.
It left you with any artifacts?
In what way?
Well,
what do you mean, mate?
Do you think? I mean, fuck. I sometimes don't think I'm the same person I was before I started taking all that shit.
Oh fuck no!
You know what I mean?
No. It'd be weird if you were. Especially when it comes to the psychedelics, the kind of mushrooms that we take now.
Yeah.
First couple of times I took mushrooms, it was playful.
Yeah.
It was airy-fairy. I took them with somebody I was seeing at the time. It was playful. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So,
and it wasn't
what you were expecting.
Yeah.
Whenever you
yeah.
and I,
well, also the quantity that I took when I did them the first couple of times was nowhere near what I took when
let's not
we
talk about what quantities do what. Like
no. I'm not going to get into like specifics, so nobody's breaking out the wee fucking scale or anything. But first time I took, the quantity I took was playful.
Yeah.
The time I took them with you, the quantity I took was fucking enlightening.
Yeah.
And
right. So can I kick this one off for you?
Yeah, man. If you want to, you go ahead.
Phil and I decided in a safe environment to take.
In a safe, undisclosed environment.
Safe, undisclosed environment.
That had Yankee candles.
In Phil's house. And, no, it wasn't really. But what happened was we decided to try this here in an amount that we knew would be over and above that.
It's referred to by experts as a heroic dose.
Right. Okay. Well, it was way too much. Let's put it that way.
Was it?
No. Well, at the time, we both fucking thought it was. But what happened was we took it. Stuck some comedy on.
Yeah, Shane Gillis. Love Shane Gillis.
He's a good boy. And good friend of ours.
Yep,
and
close personal friend.
We had that half hour of it kicking in.
We had 2 hours or so of like wavy fun, I think.
But then there was a point came where it was fucking fight or flight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We didn't say it to each other at the time.
But we both were acutely aware of it.
Aye. So you were struggling. I was sitting there quietly struggling to the point where I was going, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, you want to.
It was going from the nice phase to something a bit more sinister for a bit for me.
Yeah, something not like overarchingly malevolent, but just something. There was a shift.
There was a shift.
That's it. Yeah.
And I remember getting in my head, are you doing it? I remember saying to myself, I want to get my car keys. I'll be able to get home. And this voice, as clear as day in my head, says, no, you're not. Here's what's going to happen. Yeah. You're going to jump in your car. You won't know what is fucking real on that road and what isn't.
Yeah.
And even if you think it's not real, at the minute, anything could be real. So let's just sit tight. Do you want to do this or not? And I remember making a conscious decision of going yes. And it was probably about the same time that you made that decision too.
Yeah, because I remember we were watching. I think we were watching stuff on YouTube.
Quietly, we had a music on.
Yeah, quietly, and I was watching it, being like, okay, I don't know if this is intentionally trippy or if I'm seeing trippy stuff. Yeah. And it was at that point where I wasn't sure.
Because there was no shaking it out. You couldn't shake it away.
No.
It'd be okay. It just stayed that way.
So that kind of I was at that stage where I was kind of like, I need to let this kind of happen.
Yeah.
And it was only when I made the conscious decision to let it happen.
Yeah.
To kind of embrace it a wee bit. It was almost like as a child going down a slide, is the way I can describe it. You're at the top of the slide and you're like
a metaphor.
It's like a metaphor or something. So it's like and it was only when you decided to kind of let go and go down the slide that you got the rush, the exhilaration, the enjoyment of it, that you knew as much as you might have to confront something, you were still safe.
Yeah.
You were still going to get to the bottom and be all right.
Yeah, that's it. Right. So what happened to you?
Right. So what happened to me? Now, I was going into it full well, expecting just to be hippie, trippy visuals, like listening to the Doors and all, being like, break on through to the other side. The mushroom said, no, Philip. So
let's explore some of your past lives.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe in past lives. I do believe that there are people running around that are more than the sum of their parts, that have these different, that have a part of them has lived a different lifetime, a different era, a different experience, a different existence. I always thought I was brand new because I'm a wee bit naive, I'm a wee bit silly,
You're very cute.
And I'm like no, it's unintentionally. So I'm a wee bit whatever this is. Yeah. So that always made me think that I was brand new. Now I'm lying there. All of a sudden, do you remember Mario Kart 64? Do you remember the rainbow one where you just just shoots over the head of you, like the rainbow shoots over the head of you? So I'm lying there and I see like what I think initially is a tricolor above me. Yeah. Now I'm quite not politically nationalistic. Yeah. I identify as an Irishman. Yeah. I self-identify as Irish. I feel Irish. So I'm seeing green, white, and gold shoot over me. So I'm like, oh, fuck. I remember
you saying that to me. And I was like, why are you saying the tricolor, man? What's going on?
I'm like, fuck, this is my Irish identity. This is class. I'm so fucking Irish. Fucking Dubliners and everything. Just come at you, black and tans. But it keeps going. Woof, woof, woof. But it doesn't feel Irish. Yeah. It doesn't feel inherently Irish.
Nah, can I just say, I remember you turning around and saying to me, I'm seeing the tricolor. And then he said, it's back to front.
Yep.
That was the key here.
Yeah. So I'm seeing the tricolor, but it's back to front. Now, put that in your top pocket for later, ladies and gentlemen. So next, all of a sudden,
this is a builder.
All of a sudden, I start feeling like childlike worry. Like I start feeling like a child, like not quite infant, but like still the age where you can be led by the hand by your ma.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what's going on? And dude, my eyes were closed, so that's not visuals, it's just more a feeling I'm getting, like a sense of something. I can smell seawater. I can feel swaying. And it is as real as I'm sitting here talking to you right now. And I'm being led by the hand by what feels like a mother figure. Now and again, like if we've lost some listeners here, fine, get the fuck. Like this is genuinely what was going on with me. I'm being led onto what I feel is a ship. Now my eyes are still closed, and this isn't visuals I'm getting. This is just senses and like feelings that I'm getting. Yeah. And I've been left by the mother figure who's led me on to what I believe is a ship. I can feel that they're adult. Did you ever, when you were a kid, maybe your ma and dad were talking about something and it had gravity to it, but they didn't want you to know how deep the conversation was?
You could.
I could sense peril. Is what I could sense from adults around me who were trying to pretend that it wasn't as bad as it was. And then I think all of a sudden, just I was out of that.
Every time you came back out of it, kind of came back out a lot at the same time.
Yeah, we have to explain to people. It was almost like you'd be in a trip, and then it's almost like a fucking quantum leap.
Yeah, and when you came back out, and we were able to converse.
Yeah, because what that did, we did get breaks.
We did get breaks. I mean, there was one point I came out and I just looked at you and I said, "Do you think we just get 5 fucking minutes for a smoke?" Because
it's the weirdest thing in the world. You would think you were out of it. Yeah. You would think you were out of it. Then all of a sudden, you would just woof, and you were back in. It was like Dante's fucking Inferno.
We have half an hour recorded in the depths of it, of us two talking. I would love to fucking listen back to that sometime, man, just to see.
I was in that initial one, and I'm not too shy or embarrassed to admit it. I cried my fucking lamps out during that experience.
I was there.
No, I'll not go into the other, like I'll break that one down just a little bit more. The next day we did a debrief. Yeah. We went for breakfast and did a debrief.
We did a quick look to see what the back to front, which you already knew, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, you were telling me this, you knew exactly what this was.
I knew the back to front was the Ivory Coast.
Which you didn't know before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was only that night.
I then knew that was the Ivory Coast.
So we proved it to ourselves.
Yeah. Then we did a little bit of research into the history of the Ivory Coast, and it was one of the first countries in Africa that slaves were taken from to the New World.
Do you know why that was? Because that coast and the coast of the USA,
aligned.
Great shot.
Aligned. Yep. Like genuinely, I'm not bullshitting. I didn't know that.
No.
I had no way of knowing that. You
were able even to pinpoint the year, and we looked at the year.
You
said 1570 something, and we looked at the year, and it started in 1530.
Yeah. So like there was too many not coincidences, because they weren't fucking coincidence. So I firmly like it was just the connections were far too fucking real. But that was just one experience for me. I had about 5 or 6 different experiences,
all different lives,
all different. Yeah, at one stage I was Australian, for fuck's sake, and again, these are things that like I couldn't fucking know. Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm lying there and I'm like, "Fuck, mate, I'm in a fucking hospital bed. Fuck, what the fuck's going on, mate?" And I remember, and I'm a wee bit ashamed to admit this, there was an Asian guy lying in the bed near me, and I didn't fucking like him. So it turned out that we did it, and it felt like it was in and around the 50s.
Yeah.
And it was like the Korean War.
Aye.
So we didn't realise that the Australians were involved in the Korean War.
Exactly.
So it kind of got the feeling that I was maybe like a fucking Australian soldier that had been involved and was in like a MASH, a mobile army surgical hospital, or something like that in recovery. But there was all like, and I kept being brought back, and it was so emotional. Like I cried a good 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like proper fucking tears. Kept being brought into it, and then boom. Now my favorite one was, so I was doing stand up on the Titanic, right? 1912. Now,
is this thing on? I was wondering what the fuck you were doing. You had one foot up on the chair and all, like properly, like fucking in the middle of it. Brilliant, mate.
So everything was at a slight tilt. If you imagine like a camera, it was at a slight fucking tilt because obviously the ship's going down, and I'm standing there being like, "Ladies and gentlemen, you ever get that fucking sinking feeling? this thing on this?" And I swear to God, I could see the ornate. Like architecture and like the wooden fixings of this beautiful boat that was going down. And the thing that brought me back, because it's only about 8, this is only about 8 o'clock in the day. This isn't like 2 or 3 in the morning or so.
No.
So there's a guy walking by, and I'm standing up. And when I'm standing up in my living room,
right at the window,
you can see right at the window, people are walking by. Lee looks at me and goes, "For fuck's sake, Phil, at the end of the day, there's still people walking their dogs." And that brought me back into the room. But that is a very short summation of my first time doing a real deep dive in the mushrooms. Yeah. What was it like for you, Lee Rogers?
Well, Philacyban, Campbell.
Well played.
So like that,
I did.
For me, I got by that hump. You remember the hump?
Yeah,
got by that. I was kind of sitting there keeping an eye on you as well because you were struggling.
Yeah.
But we were trying to keep out of each other's thing.
Yeah, we weren't trying to fall. Like now, sometimes
you were saying shit. I wasn't even looking at it. I was
sometimes you have what's known as Philacyban.
Yeah.
Shared psychosis, where people who have taken psychedelic substances almost con themselves into believing that they're having a shared experience.
Yeah. Well, we did not. We did not. Mine started with, I don't even know where to fucking start with. At one point, I was in, no. It's so hard to start articulating
because it sounds so like, I believe that we are not intelligent enough as a species yet to articulate these things because they are of a different understanding or plane or some shit.
When you were going through what you were going through,
yes,
I was like fucking Buddha, man. That's the only way I can describe it.
You were sat cross-legged meditating.
My eyes were closed. I was looking around and I was moving my head with my eyes closed. I was moving my head. No matter where I looked, I could see it all. I seen the universe being created. I watched this rows of waves just coming across. Yeah. I was watching them coming towards me, and in the wake of whatever was coming towards me, there were stars, there was things just lighting up, there was supernovas kind of exploding into existence. There was, at one stage I saw a like what I could describe as a fucking cosmic pussy. I don't know. But it started me onto the feminine fucking creator.
So that a feminine energy.
I got that whole thing, man, just from, like, obviously as a human being, we aren't wired right to understand what we're seeing. So what we get beamed to us are pictures that we understand. Yeah. So I got that to show me everything's made from the feminine. Everything's created from the feminine part of the creator.
That's so fucking woke.
So woke. But
feminine energy.
The feminine energy was what created everything. That's what I got. Now, there was at one stage I wasn't even a human anymore. I was this.
What were you?
I was just a vibrating fucking ball of consciousness.
Okay.
I was just this tiny little nothing that was being shown what the universe was like at its inception, right? So I was watching all this just coming towards me. I was looking around, I was watching it happen, I was seeing everything exploding into existence and coming towards me, and just
like the Big Bang,
but not. You know what I mean? It was fucking grander than that. There's nothing grander than the Big Bang. If you can kind of put that into your perceive what that probably would have been, is what you're saying is a singularity that hold everything just became exploded, and everything that was in it came out. That's what the Big Bang is. You know what I mean? This was something else entirely. At one stage, I was in two places at once. This fucking still gets me, man. I was this person here watching this happening, but I got a voice in my head that said, if you look up in the corner, you'll see yourself looking back at yourself.
So you're omnipotent.
Omnipotent, omni-existent. What is that?
Omnipotent or omnipresent.
Omnipresent. So I looked up and I seen this light that was me looking back down, which I was still able to look down and see this guy sitting on the settee, right?
What do you think the voice was telling you to have a look?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What did it sound like?
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was whatever was coming in there. I was maybe deciphering it into my own language. I don't know. It's a hard one to kind of.
Yeah, because you get messages.
Yeah. Almost like cues to recognize certain things.
Yeah, it's not a voice. It's not like look into the light. It's you get almost like a feeling or an intuition to do something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I looked up and I could see this vibrating little light in the corner, which I knew was me, because at the same time as I was looking up at that, I was looking from there down at me. I seen myself turning around and looking up from the settee, and I also seen this thing kind of almost like pulsing as I got excited about seeing this guy looking, because when he turned around, the guy on the settee turned around and looked at me up there, and he turned around and he opened his eyes and he went like that. The eyes were just fucking white, man, like white lights in the eyes. And I was like, and I remember up there going, holy shit. And I seen that at that moment in time, that going at the same time. Man, it was fucking crazy. As time went on, because me and you were kind of came out now again, and we were, you all right, mate, and all, and you said to me,
there was a bunch of times.
You said to me one time in particular, man, are you Lee? Are you my mate Lee? And I said, yes, mate. And you put your hand on my shoulder and says, can I get a hug?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Because I needed that grounding.
No problem, yeah.
Because the experiences I had were that fucking intense. I needed to know that I was Philip Lawrence Graham Campbell.
There was a struggle with working out that you were who you think you were. That's the fucking craziest thing.
I needed to know that I was Philip Lawrence Graham Campbell sitting on my sofa in my house with my best friend Lee Rogers. Lee Ricardo Rogers. And I needed that grounding, that stability. And that's why I was like, okay, you're right, you're definitely Lee, you're my best friend, can I have a hug? Because what I was going through was so fucking intense at the time, and such a fucking, not like we say, this wasn't a hippie trippy love fest. This was life-changing, man.
This was transcendental.
Yes.
And people, I mean, you can look at transcendence as something that you think is tangible. But in that moment in time is when you realize what true transcendental fucking feelings and visions actually are.
Yeah.
I mean, the strange thing is that I kept the human part of me kept trying to rationalize it. But it also kept trying to bring in the people I loved. So I was bringing them into my head and see the flatness of, and I'm talking about people that I adore. I love these people. I love these people, and the memories that I have are the most special things in my life of the people that I loved. It wasn't there, Phil.
Yeah.
I just got this that you don't even need to worry about thinking about that. Those feelings are human. They're beneath you.
Wow.
And that I remember that stinging me a little bit, but as the human, but also this other thing was going, he's right. You know what I mean? That those feelings you have aren't this. Let that go. I'm going to show you this other thing. And then I went on to be shown. I looked down. There was one stage I was looking down, and I was looking down on the back of it. It looked like a kid, like a giant kid, and all here was all civilization, right? So you had Egypt, you had the Sumerians, you had Mesopotamia, you had the Greeks, the Romans. All that was all just there in front of me, and this kid, back of his head, was sitting there was wee archways in this one that he was working on, because everything that he was working on was quite close to him, so I was able to look over his shoulder, right? And he was setting these little figures, like toys, into these wee archways. He was setting them in one at a time. And every time he set one of them in, they kind of came alive and started moving and looking around. And what he was putting in place were the Hindu gods, man. He said, I caught him just set, when I started looking at him, he had just set Ganesh in, the elephant god. Mm-hmm. He had set Ganesh into this archway. And as soon as he set that, and it was like a wee stone figure, and as soon as he set it down, it just went into full colour and started moving and looking around itself. Arms moving and all, like this here, like as if it just became
awareness,
yeah. Yep. And every time he set one of these in, they started moving and looking around themselves, and they were the Hindu gods. This other god that was like a child, from where I get my perspective, was setting these little gods in the place, and they were overseeing civilization. But I watched this happening, man, and I was just like, what the actual fuck is going on here?
Was it scary?
No, it was peaceful as fuck. It was peaceful as fuck.
So we had two very different experiences.
Man.
How did yours end? Or how did it come to its conclusion? Because we'll talk about that, and then then I need a piss break.
That mine concluded. Do you need me piss on this? Going to be away. You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine concluded by, I think we started to come out together naturally, didn't we? But because I remember you were kind of relieved. I was trying to hold on to what was going on.
I think I had done all my crying at that stage.
So I was trying to hold on. Well, I was like, as it started to everything started to phase on me, and it just wasn't. There was nothing clear. And it was just back to that trippy moving.
Whereas I was relieved to get out of mine. You wanted to stay in.
Man, I felt like I was starting to kick myself, because I was going, I have questions. I have things that I want to bring up here, but I also was aware that any questions I asked were like, forget about that. What do you see this? That's what was going on. So that's where we came out. Whenever we both came out, we were starving like we never had a fucking pick up.
Oh my God.
I'm talking like we were phoning people saying, is there anywhere open? Can you get us food sent? Can you do this? Weren't we?
And it was still only about 9 o'clock. No, we thought we were setting about 4 a.m. in the morning. No. Like we thought, like
there's people still walking their dogs. Mate. What the fuck? Huh?
That's a t-shirt. But yeah, it was only about 9 o'clock. Like I fucking ordered an Indian on Just Eat and all. And when it came,
we didn't even use it. I didn't even no forks or fuck
on, man.
Mate, I just poured it all into the naan. Just fuck. It
was like eating for the very first time, and it was fucking incredible. But yeah, we came out of it at relatively the same time.
Yeah.
And there was nobody else I'd rather have done it with, man, because it was an intense
transcendental. And you think you know what that fucking means until you're in that.
No.
And it's just
And again, like we're trying our best to describe the experiences we had.
It's nowhere even close.
No,
I can't put into words.
No, nowhere fucking near it. But here, we'll clip it there, go for a quick push, and then I'll talk about my last experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are not sponsored by Red Bull. We're not sponsored by Hop House 13.
We just like him.
And we need a Red Bull sometimes. Got to thank a few friends here at the minute. We got to thank young Jack here, who's always jumping in and recording this for us.
Young Jackie Quinn, what a lad.
Evolved Media.
Yep, good lad, so he is.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Yep.
And I think that's about it.
That's about it, yeah.
I'm going to thank you, because you're a good lad. I see your face. He's a handsome bastard.
Stop that.
You fucking shit there. A friend of ours brought us these today.
Now look at these beautiful bastards.
Here, do you want your one?
Yes, please.
And he knocked these out of Flint. He's a survival expert. Paul Moore. Mm-hmm. What a good lad. What do you call what's his page?
Wild
Bushcraft.
Wild Bushcraft, and there's Wild
Adventures.
Wild Adventures. Wild underscore Adventures. Wild underscore
Check him out. This guy, if you want to do anything to do with bushcraft or survival, this guy knows it all.
When the apocalypse approaches, which it fucking will.
He's our mate.
Yes, he's our mate, right? Right, Paul? Pause. No, pause.
We're only going to be good at... He's been good at all the fancy shit that we need to do.
Like, Phil, stop eating nettles.
But nettles are good for you.
No, not in your face. They're not.
No, they're not. They're stingy.
But no.
Do you remember? I want the clip put on this here of you jumping over the fence.
Oh, for fuck's sake,
mate!
Right, so we were at Lee's, and Lee lives out in the sticks, and we had done a wee bit of exploration around the
old cemetery,
the abandoned cemetery down the bottom of yours, and I was wearing a pair of shorts, and we were coming back up, and my legs got fucking tanked by nettles, and I was trying not to let on how bad it was. It was really fucking bad, and I didn't like it at all. But there's
anaphylactic shock bad, like you were fucking in a bad way, weren't you?
There's a clip knocking around. I was wearing a Batman hoodie at the time, shock horror. I was wearing a Batman hoodie that had like a Batman.
Like Batman?
I do. I love Batman.
I never heard this before.
I am feeling way too powerful with this. This has like some ancestral energy or something, and to put back. Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you so much, brother. We appreciate that.
We'll put his Instagram handles in the description for the episode as well. But yes, so my hoodie had a Batman hood on it, so I did like a superhero jump off like a gate. It looked great and everything, but you can tell I'm fucking hurting and that. But anyway, back in. So
is that all? Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, is there anything else you want to touch on, or anything else?
No, I'm good.
Because I was just going to dive into my last experience,
which was only
a couple of days ago. So right. I'll be honest, like folks, I'm still figuring this out. So please bear with me. I'm not 100% sure what it was. So acquired the strongest mushrooms known to man. And I decided I would like to have
on your own
a solo experience.
We were meant to do this together.
We were. However, I decided I would like to fly solo. Thinking I've done this before. I am now Barry Big Balls. I am now Philip, King of the Mushroom Men.
Did you think, right, can I just ask you a question?
I was too arrogant.
Did you think, right, okay.
Far too arrogant.
Did you think, that's what worries me here, because I'm thinking because of that last experience, I'm going to be like a fucking god again.
I went into it arrogant. Now hearing my experience, you won't.
Right, okay.
So, took an amount of them, sat down and was like,
he sent me a message saying, "This is beautiful, mate.
Yeah,
I just got in the bed. This is amazing."
So I was in the throes of it.
That was it.
I sat downstairs by myself for about 2.5 hours doing the, you know, stuff, getting like flippy dippy and hippie and everything, sending people messages. I love you, bro. I love you, man. This is amazing. Do you know what? I'd feel even better if I went to bed and sat in the dark and did it. No! It fucking wasn't, right? So,
tell the experience. Give us it.
I got into bed. Now, everything had been fucking peachy until this stage.
I haven't even really heard this yet.
Now, again, please bear with. I might fucking cry here because this was fucking... do you know what? I'm at the stage now. I don't even give a fuck if people are listening to this being like, what a wanker he is, because you weren't there, man. You don't fucking know, all right? This was fucking beyond the comprehension of me talking to an individual, or it's to the point where I don't even give a like, it's completely dissolved my ego.
Don't get angry.
I'm not angry. I'm not angry, but what I'm saying is it's completely dissolved my ego to coming from a space cared what people think. I now no longer, like, that doesn't fucking make a dent in me. Like, I had a fucking ego death and it was good, but I'm lying in bed. I had the wee trippiness of downstairs, loving life, like,
yeah,
you know, I was like fucking, yeah, mushrooms. Get in the bed and I'm lying there. The colour slowly starts to seep out of the room.
From ceiling the floor.
Yeah.
Or was it a gradual, just all in, or was
just every, like, grey really slowly started to cascade down, and the whole room became enveloped in grey. And I have a built-in wardrobe, and every so often, and like the mood changed from happy-go-lucky, trippy-dippy, loving life, fucking Woodstock vibes. To just different, man.
Mate,
different.
I'm not even laughing at you, mate. I'm laughing. I'm nervous. I know a wee bit of this, and I can't.
And again, like no, literally, and I don't mean metaphorically. Everything turned grey. I mean genuinely. The color palette I'm seeing is black and greys.
Yeah. And
in my built-in wardrobe, I'm seeing something out the corner of my eye poke out every now and again. Like,
what way was this, Phil? Was it slow out? looking at you, or
No,
was it like fucking peekaboo shit?
So it's in my peripheral, bro.
Right.
It's in my peripheral, and when I look at it, it went back again.
Right.
So I'm it's trying not to be caught being seen by me, and I'm looking at it, and it's like, and it's only when I actually said out loud, it was like, I can fucking see you.
Right.
I can see you there.
Right.
I know you're here. That this shapeless.
Did you speak out loud?
Yeah,
was that a
said
thought,
it. I said it out loud.
Right, okay.
I said it out loud.
Got you.
I was like, I can fucking see you there.
Right.
I know you're fucking here. So this shapeless entity that had a modicum of a face but a floaty body, you know, it was fucking, and it felt like, I'm getting a fucking chill talking about it. It felt malevolent.
Right.
It presented itself.
Was the room chilly? Or
Yeah, the room. Yeah. There, like I sat bolt upright in the room and everything. Like there was a coldness to everything.
Okay.
And as soon as this thing presented itself, once I had seen it, all these little other entities joined it behind it.
Now, what were they? Did they have features, or were the balls of like?
No, they were like little
things?
dark balls with again the same modicum of a face. I could hear. So it was only when the only voice I could hear was this shapeless entity talking to me.
Got you.
And I believe that entity was death.
Right.
And I believe that I had a conversation with death. And I know that that sounds fucking stupid, but it is as real as I'm having a conversation with you. And it was making me validate my own existence. And it was telling me why I wasn't a good person, bringing up things from my past.
Right.
You know, like, like sometimes, like, because I'm 35 years old. I've done bad things in my life.
Was it pretending to be on your side? Saying,
no.
Was it like accusing you of things?
No. It wasn't. It wasn't on my side at all. This was not a friendly entity at all. It was telling me why I was a bad person.
Okay, directly.
And it was telling me directly why I was undeserving of love, why I was undeserving of friendship, why I was undeserving of the relationships I have in my life, and why ultimately I'm just going to end up unhappy and alone.
Did you think that was trying to shine you into? I don't like saying this shit out loud, man. But do you think do you think I was trying to shine you into fucking like?
I was trying to get me to go. I was trying to get me to go with it.
Trying to get you to kill yourself.
Trying to get me to go with it. Now make of that what you will.
Right.
Call that what you will, but it wanted me to go with it.
And you think that was bodily or spiritually?
I think that it was, if it was spiritually, then
I want your soul, or
if it was
I want you to die.
If it was spiritually, the caveat would then be that the bodily entity would have had to go in order to take the spiritual entity.
Necessarily.
Well, that's what I believed at the time. So this entity was... Now, we had about a 2.5 hour conversation.
Right.
It telling me why I wasn't a good person. Me having to try and validate why I was like bringing up things like from my past and everything, like relationship. Like I've told you before, I have no relationship with my father.
Right.
And it was telling me why that was my fault.
I seen him the other day. He wasn't asking for you.
That's an in joke. But yeah, so I have no relationship with my dad, and like I'm cool with that. But it was telling me why, and I know that that's not my fault.
Yeah.
But it was telling me why this was my fault.
Right.
Why I had been, how if I'd been a better son, how if I had the characteristics of a son that was worthy of love, I would still have a relationship with my dad.
Is there any way at all? I mean, because you're going to finish this anyway, but that was a battle.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Was there any way at all that was a test? Or was this, did you defeat something that was genuine?
I feel like
malevolent?
I feel like I beat something that was trying to take me.
Fucking hell, Phil.
Now, again, it's as real as I'm, but again, this little chorus of whatever they were, malevolent fucking demons or like these little entities that were with this main entity, every time this thing said something, they were the chorus being like, yeah, you're right. And eventually I got to the stage where it's, again, and you begin to question everything, because I was in a very, very vulnerable state.
Yeah.
I got to the stage where I was starting to question everything, and then I got to the stage where I was just like, do you know what? Fuck this.
Aye.
this is bullshit. I know what I am. I know who I am. I know I'm a good person.
Did it get old? I mean, did you get to the point where it wasn't you anymore? It wasn't you. It was like, all right, mate, I fucking had that. Get the fuck.
That's exactly what happened. And it's when I started to push back that it dissipated. But fuck me, bro, I was tired after that.
Man,
I felt like, mate, honestly, I felt like I felt like I'd been in a fight. I was sore. I was physically fucking sore. My face was sore. My arms were sore. My body physically fucking hurt. And I genuinely believe that whatever that was accessed a part of my subconscious or a part of me that I fucking hated about myself the most, and tried to extrapolate those things, those notions, those thoughts that I had about myself when I was at my very fucking lowest, trying to make me feel the worst that I had felt back when I had felt the worst about myself that I could ever fucking feel, and was trying to get me to something. Now make of that what you will. Man. But it was, I mean, it was scary as fuck. It was scary as fuck, but I'm still breaking it down. Yeah. But I do feel the better for it.
Do you know what? Do you know what kills me about this? Is that for everything that happens, when you try to explain it, you can nearly do it in 3 or 4 sentences. You know what I mean? When you're trying to say it out loud to someone, but there's so much more has went on. So you're still unpacking it.
I'm not even describing, I've described about a tenth of what I can vividly, and I'm usually pretty good with fucking words, but there's so much, for those, what felt like a fucking eternity, I felt at my lowest fucking ebb.
Mate, that must have been a tough wank.
Still got through it.
Did you get through it?
Still got through it. But mate, it was tough. Like I say, man, I was fucking sore. Yeah. Afterwards, like mentally, emotionally, and we've talked about this before, and I know this is so much fucking more emotional and deeper than probably people wanted to fucking listen to at this stage of the day. If you're out for a wee run and you're thinking you're going to get a ha-ha,
I know. Listen,
sorry.
Well, swear to fuck, next week's one's going to be hilarious. We'll work it out.
But I don't know, man. It was like, it felt like it was necessary, and coming out the other end of it, because mate, I'm a deeply insecure person. You know that about me. You know that that's not what you were outwardly, but I would know that. Yeah, but you know me. You know what I am. You know the sum of my parts. And yes, I come across as almost annoyingly confident to some people, but I'm masking, mate. I'm masking the entire time. You're
going to get some fucking tail from this fucking podcast.
I suffer from imposter syndrome like you wouldn't fucking believe. So I don't believe I deserve to be in any space that I occupy.
On that, did you come out of that? Did you? So now that you have been through that, and you're saying that out loud, imposter syndrome and stuff. We know that about you, man. You absolutely should have no reason to have that. That is not something that you should be attaching to yourself. But did you come out of that there feeling like you belong more? Or I
came out of it feeling a wee bit more like I was deserving of the love that I get from people.
And people do love you.
No, I know that. But even you, for example, I don't feel like I'm deserving of your friendship. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that to be fucking weird or to be fucking to try and make a clippable moment. I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm deserving of the love that people show me. Yeah. Because I don't feel like I am a good person. Yeah. So I almost then, and this is. And if I really want to get into it, I would say this is the reason why I've never had a fucking successful relationship. Yeah. Because I self-sabotage at some stage because I don't.
I've said this to you before.
I don't feel like.
Why the fuck? Why do you like me?
Yeah.
Why do you like me? What's
the biggest red? The biggest red flag I see in a woman is the fact she likes me. Aye. That's a huge red flag for me. So now coming through that, I now feel. I feel like I'm deserving of the love that people show me.
So a couple of things have been. Couple of fences have maybe been broke down.
Maybe. I think I'm less skeptical or reluctant to be accepting of the love and the friendship that people show me.
Well, that's lovely, man, because I still know that I'm a bad bastard. I'm trying really hard to be a good guy.
Wait till you have your solo trip.
I know, man. I'm fucking something to talk about later on.
Yeah, that was tight going, wasn't it?
Man, I love you. Here, give me your hand.
I love you too, brother.
Folks.
Hey, before we go, listener questions.
Listener questions, let's do it.
Right, so we're going to finish up. We're thinking about doing this every week. We're going to finish. Fuck me, heavy. Woo, Jesus.
Shit got off.
We're thinking about finishing, depending on the reception we get, we're thinking about finishing with listener questions. So we've had a few in. So we're going to go. First one is, who's Phil's favourite heavyweight K1 fighter in the north of Ireland? They've written Northern Ireland, but I'm saying the north just to fuck with them. That is from Big Andrew Patterson, who is a fucking fantastic K1 fighter in his own right. Great boxer too. And there has been rumblings that he is going to make his bare knuckle boxing debut, which his girlfriend is vehemently opposed to, but I think it'd be a fucking great idea.
So it's him then?
Oh,
it's him. Right, next one.
This for both of us. Favourite actor to play the Joker? You first.
Fucking Heath Ledger, man. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, it has to be.
I mean, Heath Ledger went down that. Folks, I don't know why
killed him.
I don't know. Yeah, it killed him. If you have a role that kills you, that puts you in such a dark fucking place that you end up dying over it, you're going to be the best of anything you've done. 100%.
It's not only the best cinematic interpretation of the Joker, I think it's the best cinematic interpretation of a character ever.
Full stop.
I think it's so hard to beat the deep dive he went into, the nuances with even just the voice, the cadence, inspired by Tom Waits to a certain extent.
Big time.
Yeah, just everything about
I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy.
See, my father was a drinker, and again, I could wax lyrical about the character. Like I could do an entire podcast on the psychopathy of the Joker. But yeah, Heath Ledger for me, obviously, absolutely fucking incredible. Next one. Hey guys, I want to ask you if you're into any other sports, like rugby, for example. Obviously, we're huge MMA fans. Lee, any other sports?
Man, you know what? I played rugby in school. I enjoyed playing it. I don't like watching it. It fucking bores me. Sports-wise, for me, it's NASCAR and NASCAR racing, motorbike racing, all that shit.
Now, I'm gonna, folks, I'm gonna come out, and I'm going to come out as a football fan. All right. Now, this is a big deal because I do not let people know my love of football.
It's a fucking horrible sport.
I love football with a passion. I'm a huge Manchester United fan, and I love football with such a passion. But what I hate is other people who love football. Because we're cunts by our very fucking nature. Yeah. Have you ever been in an environment with somebody and you get chatting and you're like, oh, who do you support? Oh, I support Man United. I support Liverpool. Oh, I thought we were going to be friends. Fuck up, you're an adult, right? You can be friends with people like different fucking teams. And if you're above the age of 19 or 20 and you still wear a fucking football top, you're a cunt. And you don't play for the team. And you wear a shirt with another man's name across the back of it like a brand, whereas he can just turn up anytime and buck you. Wise up, you fucking wanker. Anyway, next question. Yep. So, for you specifically, when will we get some new music from Lee Rogers?
Well, we're working on a few things now. I'm hoping to get a new song out sort of end of August, maybe, something like that. You're involved. We're doing a
I'm more than involved.
You're fucking slightly involved.
I'm kind of the centerpiece around which is being built.
Anything to say about this in the hood? Next
one. This is a cracker. Would you rather passionately suck off a guy for 10 seconds or full on make out with another guy for 3 minutes with tongues?
Well, I couldn't even make out with a woman for 3 minutes with tongues. If fuck's sake, you joking me? That's a very long kiss, man. Suck a guy off for 10 seconds and get over it.
Right. Who's the guy? Is the question I'm asking.
For the sake of 10 seconds, man, doesn't matter, you know?
Oh, it does.
Just washed.
It does. I would be asking, who's the guy?
Right, okay.
If it's for the kissing, is he a wee bit effeminate looking?
Is his dick bigger than yours? That would be a big factor.
I'd be rating. There's no chance I'm putting that in my fucking... Next question. Anyway.
Here, you never fucking answered it. Answer the question.
Both. Name one celebrity who you think might be an alien or has had contact with aliens. That's a good question.
There's a few, I think.
Joe Biden's not human.
There's lots. There's stuff about all that.
I don't think Joe Biden's human.
Yeah. That cunt that makes Facebook.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely been in contact
What about
Well, Dr. Stephen Greer has been in contact, hasn't he?
But I think they're going like the non-obvious ones,
Right. Okay. Sting.
right? Because of the tantric bucking.
I think he's connected. I think with his money and what he's capable of doing, I think he's connected to something there. You know.
I'm going to say.
Did you ever hear the story? Sorry, Phil, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Did you ever hear the story of the guy that was astral projecting, and he flew up into the sky and hit something that shook it, and he was halfway in and halfway out of a fucking a starship that had two grey aliens. Turned around and looked at him, and he pushed himself back out of it.
So was he in the astral and pinged it?
He was in the astral and pinged it, which means if he moved it, when he hit it with a bang, which means that if he was able to do that in the astral, it means that they are also astral.
They can exist in that plane.
Yep.
That's fucking interesting.
Dimensional
travel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the best type of people to have contact with aliens, who that the aliens could be like use as a cover, combat sports athletes.
Yeah.
Think of the amount of fucking brain trauma that they have, that they can have like blackouts and shit, and people just be like, he's fucking punch drunk.
Aye.
So I think like George St. Pierre says that he has a bunch of blackouts.
Aye.
So I think he's maybe had contact.
He's maybe being lifted, taken away.
Interesting
fixed,
though.
Brought back.
But Lee Rogers...
Is that us?
I think that's been heavy going tonight, mate.
It has been, mate. I'm sorry about that. We're going to do a really fucking stupid one next week.
Yeah, but do drugs, guys.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Don't do drugs.
From myself, Phil Campbell, my best friend in the whole world, Mr. Lee Rogers. This has been the Bat and the Bandit, episode 3. Follow us on socials. Like, share, subscribe. You'll find me at PC_commentary. Where will they find you, Lee?
Lee Rogers Music and L Rogers.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.